Hi everyone, so the goal for this video is to show you how to use the Physics Classroom Force Interactive. So this is assignment 1.13. So this is the link that I gave you. If you scroll down, it talks a little bit about using the interactive, um, but you don't have to read that if you don't want to. It's not crucial. You can just go ahead and hit start. And this is what the interactive looks like. So you can play around with a few things. You can play around with the mass of the object. You can play around with the applied force. And you can play around with friction, though we are not going to focus on friction quite yet. That's something that we'll talk about in a couple of lessons. So I would leave that at 0. But you can play around with these two things. And while you are playing around with this interactive, you're going to be filling out this handout. All right, so you can kind of see it tells you what force to use, what mass to use. It wants you to figure out what is the net force on the object. And then it wants you to give you a description of the velocity time information, and then what is the acceleration. All right, so let's just do one quick example here. Let's say I have a mass of 2 and an applied force of 20. If I push the object, so right here it tells you what the net force is. So when you are filling this out, you want to put that number in these boxes all the way down. All right, so it gives you that number right there. The other thing that you can look at is the velocity time graph. And what you can do is you can click on the different buttons and it'll tell you what is the velocity at any given moment. I'll give you a quick little cheat here. I could tell you that the acceleration is the slope of this line, so you can calculate the slope of this line. A much simpler cheat to find the acceleration is just to look at what is the velocity after 1 second. However much the velocity has changed after 1 second, that's your acceleration. So this object is accelerating at 10 meters per second squared because every second their velocity is increasing by 10. All right, I'll give you another example if you need a further example. If you're ready to just tackle the assignment right now, go for it. But I'll give you one more example if you need it. So let's say we want to reset. Let's say we want to do an applied force of 40, and a mass of 3. That's pretty good. All right, so hit push it. Again, it gives you the net force right there. And then again, it tells you how does the velocity change over time. All right. And again, whatever the velocity is after 1 second, that's also your acceleration. All right, so the acceleration for this object is 13.33 meters per second squared. All right, that's because that's how much the velocity is changing by every second. If you look at these tabs, right, that's how much the velocity is changing by every second. So that's your acceleration. All right, so that's how you can fill in this chart. The net force is given to you right on the screen. You want to describe what the velocity time graph is doing, and then from this graph, you can figure out the acceleration. All right. There are a few other questions on this handout, so play around with it, collect your data, and then from your data, you should be able to answer the questions at the end. And as usual, I should be in the classroom and your classmates should be in the classroom. If you need any help, I highly encourage you to work with other people, but I will be around as well if you need help. And that's it. Good luck.